How's it going, Realmers? How it be and how it do? Hello, all of you pups, furries, fays, dragonkins, cryptids, mythical creatures, beings of consciousness, concepts of reality, gamers alike. How it is and how it go. So I had to stop the last part a little sooner than later because I ended up leaving the guild. I really value who I'm keeping in my circles. And, you know, the thing is that this is a series that people are most likely going to be looking back on. And I just don't want to be surrounding myself with a bunch of bad eggs. And so, yeah, you know, I left the guild because someone started to basically try to start some shit with me. And, oh, whoops, uh-oh. Hold on. I hate this biome so freaking much. I gotta focus here real quick. Alright, here we go. Nice. But you know, that's just the thing, is that a lot of individuals can say, yeah, I just felt challenged. I just felt whatever, right? You can say whatever you want, but the reality, the actuality of it is the fact that, you know, I mean, the friends that I have today, I'm not saying I have like a whole freaking pamphlet full of friends, but I do have like a solid, like, maybe like five friends, maybe less. But that's the thing, is that all the people who I'm friends with are very kind-spirited people. I make sure to surround myself with people who I know aren't negative towards others and X, Y, and Z. So that's just the thing, is that, you know, yeah, I know one bad apple doesn't make everyone else bad, but that's the thing, is that I'm not about to be in a group of people where one of those individuals is tarnishing the name of everyone else, pretty much. So that's why I ended up leaving. It's like, yeah, you know, I'll give them a chance. I'm like, because I was like, hey, you know, you want to talk shit? Because pretty much what happened was there's a individual in my last guild who kept ignoring me, right? And I was just like, whatever, you know, they're probably just busy, or they probably have me on ignore or something, over the course of a few parts in this portion of the series. And so, you know, I ended up saying in the guild chat, oh hey, I think, and their name was Void X's. I was like, I think Void X's has me on ignore. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, I'm just looking at my phone. Oh, I barely look at the screen. You mean you're playing with a blindfold on? You know, I mean, there's been portions of the series, this specific class, where I would be like, hey, so, like, what's up, nice drip, and all this stuff, and they would not respond, not say anything back. And hey, to each their own, right? That's okay. But where I found the issue was pretty much in the premise that now this individual found out my status, which was I was in their same guild. And they, instead of responding to me just being like, what's up, hello, now they're responding to, oh shit, you're in my guild. Oh no, I was just looking at my phone. So then I was like, should I call this out? Yeah, I'll call it out. So then I ended up calling it out, and I was like, oh no, that's like, hey guys, I think Void X's has me ignored, and they're like, nah, I'm looking at my phone. And then what ends up happening after that was I was like, oh, you must have been looking at your phone a couple of times then, but you know, that's all right, that's my bad. And they're like, there's this other individual who was in the guild, Abyssal Cinder, who was like, imagine getting ignored, El Bozo. And right there, for me, it's like if you're treating your guildmates like this, how are you treating other realmers? How are you treating other people? And it's just not something that I can like associate myself with. And I know it's like, well, you're only saying that because they said something to you. No, I'm saying that because of why I literally just explained. Because it's like, yeah, no, like I like to surround myself with positive people. I don't like to I don't like to be associated with anyone that's extremely negative or who's just like a nuisance to like a negative affluence to their environment. I don't like that. I don't vibe with that. And you know, I've done this before with another guild previously in the series. I've done this before because, you know, there's just one bad egg and I'm like, no, can't do it. And I know it's like, well, then you're never going to be part of a guild. That might be. That might be. But if I'm not part of a guild at the end of the day, at the end of the series, where it's nothing but just positive mindsets in the group, then, you know, I guess that just speaks more volumes as to the community that plays this game, or to the communities that entail, like, you know, guilds. And because, yeah, there's really good apples here in this game, but in terms of associating with a group, I don't know what this person is saying to other people, right? I don't know what they're saying. And I can just assume based off of that behavior, okay, if they're talking to me like this, they're going to be talking to other people like this. And so, yeah, they're just like, oh, you're sad, you're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool, get your words out, man, but I'm going to let the owner know, the guild leader know. And I let the guild leader know, and they ended up kicking them from the guild. But that's the thing, is that, you know, at this point, that guild already had its time to shine in the series, and I almost rejoined my first ever guild, which is Realm Gooners. I almost rejoined that, but the only reason why I didn't rejoin it was because I needed to give other guilds a chance to shine in, and I hate to sound like an egomaniac here, but I needed to give other guilds a chance to shine in such a momentous series. Like, because I'm making a huge statement with this series, which is anyone can white star. I'm shutting down a whole collective, almost half of the player base in this game. I'm shutting down these individuals, and, you know, who are like judging based off of star, who are like, oh, shut up red star, shut up blue star, shut up dark blue star. You know, like, you don't judge based off of star. You don't do that. But the series hasn't been completed yet, so the message hasn't gone across fully at this point. So that's the thing, is that as the series goes on, I know later on there's going to be some attention on it. Like earlier, there was like 400 views of video, 200 views of video, like per part. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so it's a lot bigger than just me and just, like, you know, what I want. And that's hence why I didn't rejoin Realm Gooners. It's just, you know, like, nothing bad happened. It's just the only reason why I left that one was because at that point it was like, okay, let's try to give another guild some time to shine. And then since then, it's just been a lot of like, oh dude, this guild is dope so far, it's going good. And then, you know, it's like, oh, wait a minute, here we go, there's some bad apples. Or to reference P-Bag Only, which was another guild that I was in. That one, people just stopped hopping on. I did a lot of videos on it, and just like Realm Gooners, it was time, okay, let's give another guild some time to shine. And this guild lasted, like, not too long. Yeah, it didn't really last that long. So, I mean, hey, nothing against the guild owner, nothing against the other guildies, nothing against Void Exis, right? I mean, yeah, you know, your character showed at the end of the day, where it's like, oh, now you're talking to me because I'm a guild member. But it's like, you know, I mean, that's just something I can't stand. Like, I can't stand that. Like, I treat, personally, like, I treat everyone equal. I've met a lot of really big name, like, CEOs and all that stuff, working in different jobs, and I treated them just like another human being. Like, talked to them the same way, showed up and however I like to dress, you know, like, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same color, right? But that's the thing, is people that treat others differently just because of status. Doesn't matter what form of status, it's just, for me, that speaks character. So it's just, I wanted to call that out. Ooh. Sorry, I got a notification on the YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of where I stand in that aspect, in that avenue. So yeah, I mean, today I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna try to, anyways. I'm gonna try to finish the Mystic here, and then next up is the Trickster. So all I can really do is keep moving forward, and I can just keep on trying to make the right decisions in terms of who I keep around in the circle, who I don't. Call it whatever you will. I like to think of it as I'm being aware of a broader spectrum and the long term, I should say, to better put it. I'm thinking more about the long term than anything else. Alright, let's see here. Let's go to Rogue Tundra. Let's farm some of these enemies real quick. Crazy, I don't need Puppet Master's Encore anymore. I'm already 8 out of 8. Ooh, infinite typo. Dang. Rippin' Grammarly. For the high school students that don't care much about being literate. Having a creative brain for themselves. Gosh, it's just one of those things, man. Like, when I think about Grammarly and I think about like all these college students using AI to pass their courses and stuff, it really does make me sad, because back then, you know, there's a lot of people who were, I mean, still to this day, but there's a lot of people who are fighting just to be able to go to college. And you have a lot of these people who are in college. Oh, might be Bubbles? Oh, okay, not Bubbles. You have a lot of these people who are in college now who are just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just run this through ChatGPT, an AI prompt, and then I'm gonna run it through another program to make it less AI, and then I'm gonna go through it and revise it myself. Boom, got an A on my final. It's like, you didn't get an A, the program did. Now, imagine going to a job, right? And not knowing how to fulfill that job, not knowing what you're talking about. You're gonna get fired. And especially in these like high-end jobs that the majority of these AI users are doing, which is like becoming a doctor, right? Imagine messing up as a doctor. Now you got like a freaking $800,000 lawsuit because you left a piece of medical equipment inside someone's sternum or something, right? You left a little piece of plastic inside of a human being because you forgot, because your brain is trying to think, what's the computer telling me to do? And you're not actually looking at what the computer can't look at, you know? Like, it just leads to more problems. And I mean, even to this day, like, there's a lot of people in the mental health world that are like, I need to be medicated, I need these medications. And it's like, I don't know, in my personal instance, I didn't need medications. I just needed someone who wasn't trying to get me on medications just to talk to, you know, and in terms of therapist, right? And you know, it's a crazy world we live in, because when you start to kind of go down, I'm gonna call it the rabbit hole, you start to learn that like a lot of like what you go through, right? Like people that go to a doctor regularly, they're like, oh dude, I go to my doctor regularly and I'm taking like 9 different medications at the age of 25. Does that sound right to you? Should you, like, I mean, go back to like the Romans, the Greeks, you know? They were like 25 years old, shredded and doing freaking awesome. Yeah, I mean, like when they would get sick, it'd be scary, but like I think that you should only go to the doctor when you are in a serious need of medical attention. Because like even then, when you look at your local hospital, because my local hospital is full of people just trying to get their hours so they can actually get paid as an RN. You know, it's like, and so these people are sitting there trying to tell you what, like they know what they're talking about without disclosing to you that, no, I just came here from college, or I'm still going to college, but I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with you. You know, so you just have to really like, only in those like emergency situations where you're like, damn, dude, I got a freaking a freaking pike through my chest. Okay, maybe I should go to the doctor. You know, oh man, I'm starting to convulse and sweat and everything. Maybe I should go to the doctor. I've been sick for a whole month now, and I'm like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I've been sick for like 2 weeks now, and I'm seeing sounds and smelling shapes. Maybe I should go see a doctor. I'm worried that I'm not in my peak physical health. Maybe you shouldn't go to a doctor at that point. You know, maybe like if your biggest issue is that you're just concerned that you're not in the best physical shape you should be in, but like you're 5'9", 160 pounds, kind of shredded, like maybe you shouldn't go to the doctor, because a lot of these doctors are getting paid through the medications that they're prescribing to you. Other doctors are out there who are just like, let's just a lot of these other doctors are like, oh dude, like you know what, you got this thing that's wrong with you. Well, what's wrong with me? Oh, well, and they'll start giving you a bunch of this like really big jargon that like most people who aren't a doctor or aren't educated won't understand. And they'll be like, so you need to be put on prilocetylmethylo felimo trioglycatosemafenamine. Yeah, that sounds real safe to put in your body. You know? Oh, you know what? You should have your children not only have the base vaccines, but we should also give your children a whole bunch of other vaccines, because there's base vaccines that you need in the United States in order to even attend school and stuff like that are required by insurance and stuff like that. That it's like if you want to be covered, then you kind of have to take it, which kind of sucks, but at the same time I get it. But it's like, for me, it's like if you get the shot for the chicken pox, which I've seen this happen a lot of times throughout you know, going through school and stuff. You get a shot for the chicken pox, but then now all of a sudden you have the chicken pox later on. What good is the shot actually doing? Who's benefiting from giving these children those shots? It's just stuff that you have to really think about. and consider questions, stuff like that. Like, here's what I think. If you're in the position to where you're like, I'm not feeling good, I think that, you know, I've been running a lot slower as of late, I feel a lot more fatigued, all this stuff. Try to like evaluate what you're intaking into your body at that time and what you're not intaking into your body at that time. Like most doctors out there are gonna, ooh, yes please. Yeah, that's good feed power. A lot of doctors will, instead of telling you like, well, let's look at your diet, let's look at how much outside time you're getting, how, ooh, physic, ripping quantum mechanics. But they're not gonna look at what's your diet like, what's your physical activity like, what type of media are you ingesting, like how often are you ingesting media, what do you do on your free time? They don't look at all that. So I think you should look at that and think, okay, well, what can I do better? Because most of the time doctors will be like, here, take this medication, but also fix your diet. And then you'll think, oh dude, this medication's working. Man, I need to keep taking this stuff. When in all reality, you just needed to fix your diet. So what I'm trying to say is try to like unbiasedly look at what's going on in your life, how you're treating your body, how you're conducting yourself in life. Like if you're eating like top ramen packets, like 3 packets per meal, 3 times a day, and you're like, I'm always thirsty, I feel dehydrated all the time. Okay, well then cut down the amount of top ramen that you're eating, first of all. Second of all, drink more water. You know, you don't need a doctor to tell you that. But apparently a lot of America does. Apparently it's like, oh man, like I can't, ooh, Golden X offline, ripping GoldenEye. But no, it's trippy to me that like how little of a head on everyone's shoulders everyone feels like they have or has. Like, I don't know, I myself rarely go to the doctor. I don't even have a primary care provider. I don't even have a primary care provider because I'm fairly young, you know. I'm under 30 years old. I'm above 24. You know, so the thing is that like, here, let's just go to the next one. The thing is like, a lot of my issues, my problems right now, they haven't needed to, or they don't need to be addressed in such a way, because at the end of the day, it's like, what I look at myself, I look at my diet, I look at my physical activity, I look at, okay, you know, in moments where like I'm feeling depressed or something, I'll be like, okay, what's making me depressed? Because usually, hot take here, usually when you're depressed, it's because you know that there's something in your life that you can bring change to, but you're not taking any action to bring change to it. And so, you know, I'll think like, okay, why am I depressed? I'm depressed because I didn't work out 2 days in a row. Okay, then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work out right now. And I'll either that or I'll make time within that very same day to work out. And then lo and behold, boom. Okay, now why am I depressed? And it just, you just keep going, because life isn't easy, and you shouldn't try to look to others for answers for your own solutions unless it's like a major emergency. Like, example, this is where I wouldn't apply that mentality to. When one of my previous jobs, there was this older guy who started being like, here, let's go follow this. There's this older guy who was like, my stomach hurts really bad, and You know, I feel like I can't move, and it's awful. Okay, well, you should go home, and you should absolutely go to the doctor first and foremost. Go to the hospital, because it was kind of like, it was like 2 in the morning at this time. I was working night shift, and they were like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna stay," and I was like, "No, really? At this point, you're gonna want to go." "No, you're young, man. You don't get it." No, I do get it. That's why I'm telling you, you should go to the hospital. You should not even be here at work. And ooh, Magnus is cool. Magnus is cool. Ripping chess. But no, that's the thing, is that like he ended up. I told the boss, I was like, "Hey, look, you know, he's being kind of a hard ass here, but I think that his appendix burst because he was just talking to us about how he, before work, went out to a Hispanic restaurant and had a bunch of spicy food along with spicy buffalo wings, and you know, I think that his appendix burst." And he was like, "This is kind of like a you don't want to like mess with someone else's money type of situation." And I was like, "Yeah, but he's messing with his life right now." I was like, "Dude, you know what? I will literally call myself out and everything. I don't care. I'll take the full blow, the full responsibility of him getting sent home, but he needs to go to the hospital now." And so then he ends up getting sent home. He kind of gave me some shit for it. He's like, "Man, why are you snitching on me, man? I'm good. I'm telling you, I'm good." And I was like, "You can barely get out of your seat. You've been holding your stomach the past 4 hours you've been here, and we still have another 8 hours to go." I was like, "You need to go get seen." I was like, "Hate me now. If it's nothing, you know what? I will literally," and I told him too, I was like, "If it's nothing at all, I will literally pay you $300. And he was like, "All right, cool." Left, goes to the hospital. And I was like, "But you have to go to the hospital." And so he goes to the hospital, and lo and behold, his appendix did actually burst. And he was in the hospital for, I want to say, the remainder of that work week, because we're working 4 days 1 week, 3 days the next, and he went in there on the 3-day week. That was in the beginning of the 3-day week, and he was in the hospital till the following work week. And even then, he was moving slow, and he was like, "Yeah, they had to do surgery. They took my appendix out. I can't thank you enough, man." And I gave him $100, and I was like, "That's for trusting me." Because yeah, I'm not like, "Don't ever go to the doctor." I'm not like that at all whatsoever. I'm just like, don't go to the doctor for like, "Oh man, I got a scrape in my shin," because now you're gonna end up taking a whole bunch of different fucking medications, and they're just gonna be like, "Okay, you know what? Here, you're gonna come in a week. We're gonna follow up, and I'm gonna try to get you on some different medication." Ooh, crystallized fang venom, nice. So it's just one of those things where you just got to be cautious and aware, and oops, there you go. Because yeah, I'm not uninformed. I'm actually pretty well educated. I remember at that job at the time, I was doing nothing but listening to cosmic queries, researching on ooh, god damn. Sorry, I was researching on physics, I was researching on chemistry just to understand what I was working with a lot more, and so I can have proper conversations with the engineers that work there. And you know, I was taking 3-hour shuttle rides there and then back, so that's 6 hours a day. I was doing nothing but studying the whole time, just studying. So ooh, nice. Okay, 2 mighty quest chests. Pretty good. And so yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just, that's just my stance on the whole medical thing, doctor thing. Especially psychologists, man. Like, cause they'll put you through like 9 different medications until one suits you. And that's telling in my book. That's extremely telling, because it's like, if the person who's giving you these recommendations of like, oh, you need to be on this medication, and they'll say it confidently too. They'll be like, yeah, this is what you need. But then it doesn't work. Oh, okay, never mind. This is what you need. That doesn't work. It's like, for one, they're not being straight up with you, being like, look, we're going to go through a few of them until one works for you. This first one might, you know, they don't tell you that up front. They're just going to lead you down the freaking, the snowball until one finally works, and then they're just going to be like, see, I knew you needed that. I knew this is the one that you needed. So it's like, that's why, like, you know, when people are like, oh dude, I need to be on medications, my mentality is wild, and this and that and this and that. It's like, damn, I don't think I even got credit for that. It's like, I don't know, man. Try just like talking to someone first. I mean, I know there's some crazy illnesses out there. Like, I remember one time, in order for me to receive proper medical attention, I had to admit myself. I had to 5150 myself, pretty much. And even then, I was being straight up. I was like, look, I'm only doing this because this is the loophole around getting my insurance to actually deal with this issue now, and not like 4 to 6 months from now. And they're like, okay, well, we can't do it if you're not actually, you know, wanting to commit the unbreathing. And I was like, so if I say I want to commit suicide, then you're gonna admit me? And they're like, yes. And I was like, okay, well, and the lady kind of stared at me, and I was like, want to commit the unbreathing? And she was like, okay, all right, I guess, you know, now we can admit you now. And I was like, awesome. And even then, I was, the person I was working with there, they were like, why are you even here? And I was like, well, it's just the only way to get my insurance to get me on medication without waiting 4 to 6 months. And even then, after all that, the medication didn't work out, because the stuff I was given, I cut the pill in half, because it was this hard pill, and I cut it in half, and I was like, okay, we're gonna try this, just half of this dose, because it seemed like too high of a dose in my opinion that they gave me. So I cut it in half, took it, and that half of the pill, I was lethargic. I was damn, just let me hit the boss, thank you. I was lethargic, I was unable to move, I was bedridden for like, I want to say maybe 4 days. Less than a week, but it felt like a week. And yeah, it just, at that point I was like, okay, And I really, even when I was in the institution and I was like just sitting there, just doing a lot of meditation, a lot of reflection, stuff like that. And I was like, do I really need to be medicated? Like, because I was looking around me and I was comparing and contrasting to some of the other patients, and there was this one guy who could not stop jerking off. Like, he would literally pull down his pants and start tugging his shit just because someone had long hair. He would start tugging it, and he ended up having to stay in his room, and he got room ordered, and then they ended up moving him over. It was this whole thing with him, but and there was another person who was like, oh dude, I was a college professor and I can tell you all these different mathematic formulas and stuff. And I was like, can you actually apply it? Because, you know, again, I treat everyone like they're human, and, you know, if someone's, because everyone else is like, oh dude, you're so smart. And so I was like, can you actually apply it to something? And he was like, this one you can't apply it to anything. And I was like, well, I see here that you have a formula for luminance, so you're quantifying data based off of light energy and how much density it holds, so, or material it has. So, like, is this for like I don't know, light bulbs? Is this for astrophysics? And he just could not answer that question. And then later on, he comes up to me and he was like, yeah, you know, I just want to say I was bullshitting. I just want to be smart, and I want to, like, be admired by those around me for my intellect. And I was like, well, you don't have to fake it to be smart. You just learn it. That's the beauty of the human mind. You just freaking learn it. And, you know, I was like, when it comes down to this stuff, you ask yourself as if I asked you, like, what can you apply this to? Apply it, and there you go. And then I was like, if you still don't know it at that point, throw yourself your own lesson as if you're a teacher teaching kids how to add 2 + 2. And I guarantee you'll be able to understand it a lot better. And so then he comes back, he's like, okay, so I had one of the nurses look this up for me so I could write this down, and this is what it applies to. And he told me that it applies to something about thermal combustion in God, what was it? It's like thermal combustion in like a specific type of engine. I forget what type of engine. I don't want to just throw one out there. But he was telling me all about it, and he was like, man, thank you, dude. You know, no one ever questioned it, all this stuff. I was like, dude, it's no problem. I was honestly worried you're gonna like freak out and like rip my hair off or something. And he laughed. He was like, yeah, he's like, trust me, I'm not. And he said another patient's name there who was maybe he was on the spectrum of some sort. We didn't know, but the women that were in there, he would like walk up behind them, and then pretty much, you know that old meme, Yaga, where they would just pull their ponytail and stuff? Well, he would pull their hair as it was down, because they didn't have like rubber bands or anything like that. We weren't allowed anything in there. And so like even my glasses, I couldn't have my glasses in there. So that's the thing, is that like I was kind of blind through the whole thing. But you know, it's just, this guy would do that, and he was like, yeah, I'm not him, don't worry. And I was like, oh, thank God. And there's this other chick that was in there, and she was like, I'm in here because my man cheated on me. And she was young, dude. She was young. She was like maybe like 19, like young. And she was like, yeah, I'm in here because my man was cheating on me, and then I flipped out on him, and then I was living with his parents, so they called the cops, and they basically told the cops that I was mentally unstable and all this stuff. And she was like, now I really do feel like it. And I was like, well, maybe that's because your environment encompasses that. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, because, I mean, you're hanging around all these people. I mean, don't get me started on I called him the Jorker. because when he would tug, he would kind of go, but and like that's the thing is that I called him the Jorker because the Joker, Jorking it, all that stuff, and that was a bit before the whole Jorking it meme became mainstream and stuff. But like, I was like, just look at the Jorker, look at who's around you and kind of mirror who you are in comparison to these individuals, and then ask yourself, am I really crazy, or was I just in a situation where I felt inclined to react physically? And I'm like, I'm not excusing abuse here, but what I am saying is that in terms of you need to ask yourself, are you actually crazy? Or maybe you just have, it could be a whole list of things. You could have an issue maintaining your emotions. Maybe you just don't have the mentality of like physical altercation is just not worth it. Because that's how I view things. I don't think being physical with anyone is worth it. I think you can reason, you can take a step back and actually acknowledge like, okay, there's other ways around this issue than being physical. And so I was kind of explaining that to her, and in that same conversation, she was like, yeah, no, I think you're right. And she was like, thank you. I really needed like someone to tell me I'm not crazy. And she was like, the psychologist that she was speaking to, because every day we would all speak to a psychologist, and she was like, this psychologist that I was speaking to, because we all had different ones as well, some same, some of the different, but she was like, they would just be like, yeah, we need to put you on this medication, we need to put you on that medication. Ooh, get that dopamine, come on. And so basically the reason why I went on this tangent is because, I had a lot of other interactions in there as well. But the thing is like, even though I was in the same situation as them, inherently being, in an institution, that didn't stop me from still having a level head on my shoulders and questioning, like, well, I guess just to put it bluntly, asking questions to ponder, okay, like, oh, Napa Sin, damn. Napa. Ugh, Napa. Vegeta. I'm a ghost Vegeta. But, it's like, alright, it might be Bubbles. Yeah, it's Bubbles. Alright, let's go. Boom, sucker! But yeah, that's just my perspective on things. Oh, dude, the white bag in there looks really nice. Is that like, yeah, yeah, I was in a situation where I was being treated equally as someone else who couldn't stop jorking it. The jorker, someone else who would just keep pulling on the female's hair. Another person was like, they were like, dude, I'm a gangster. And someone was like, what set do you rep? And they're like, I rep this set. And they're like, where are you from? And they're like, I'm from over here. And then the other person was like, that's actually impossible. You can't be a gangster from there if you live over there or you're from there. It just, you would actually be, and like started listing like a whole nother gang and everything. And the person who was like, oh, I'm a gangster and all stuff, they got all upset and they're just barking the whole time, like, oh, you can't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can't tell me what I am and what I'm not. And then you figured out at that point, okay, that's why they're here. They're living in this state of, some would call it delusion. Some would say they're living in a state of heightened emotional experience. The list kind of goes on. Right, let's try to get all these. Oh, I'm sick. Gotta be careful. Gotta take out all these ads. Gotta watch out for the spooky. Oh man, okay, get those ads, get those ads. Slowed, that's fine. Spooky's probably going up middle. No? Okay. Yeah, it's real important to try to clear out the ads around these bosses. But you know, this individual just was very like emotionally driven and lacked the ability to actually assess themselves. And so you can kind of tell, okay, that's why you're here. And they were very sporadic with their words. Like they would tell other people in there that they're like, oh man, I can have you killed, and it's like, okay, you might have intermittent explosive disorder, because I remember I was having a calm conversation with this chick one time, and the next moment she got hella upset because I smiled, and she was like, what you smiling for? And I was like, oh, it's just what you were talking about, you know, you finished your sentence off, you smiled, so I was just smiling with you. It ain't nothing to smile about, homie. I'm talking about how I walked my dog, and you think me walking my dog is funny? You think that doesn't make me more gangster than the next fool? I was like, no, you're coming up with that, not me, man. And she was like, oh, now you're putting words into my mouth. And I was like, no, I'm just as if though I was stepping to you in the way you're stepping to me. I am standing my ground, letting you know that I'm being respectful towards you. I'm giving you the light of day of, hey, I'm going to answer your questions and talk to you like a mature adult, but it seems to me here you're the only one who's aggressing. I ain't aggressing shit, homie. Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree. Nah, you need to see it from my point of view. And that's where I was like, actually, no, that's not how the world works. People are going to have different points of views. They're going to have different perspectives. People are going to smile when you smile. But the problem is the person who starts aggravating the other for no reason. You think that's why I'm in here? I don't know, you tell me. Oh, shit. Thank you for checking me, G. No, they didn't say thank you. They said, I appreciate you for checking me, G. Keeping it real. Yep. That's who I am. I'm not here to make enemies, homie. I'm here to work on my own shit too, man. Oh, I feel it. I'm sorry. Just always staying hard. It's like, you know, you just gotta keep it real, you know? You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it real, you feel me? Oh, I feel you. I was like, sorry, one moment, gotta pay attention here. If anyone starts hitting this thing. Okay, and the other one's gone. Alright. But yeah, that was the thing, was just, it's like, again, I just treat other people just like they're a human, just like they're someone's kid, just like the elderly, like that's someone's parent. But that doesn't excuse how they treat other people. So again, that's why I say treat others by default with utmost respect. And then if someone else starts treating you a certain way, hey, maybe you can give them a chance, give them 2 chances. And if they don't recognize that, hey, you're giving them a chance to chill the fuck out, then go ahead and, you know, start addressing them the same way they're addressing you. And you're probably wondering, like, oh man, like, you say that you're cautious and you're safe, but you're saying these things to an institutionalized person who thinks that they're a gangster, and from a part where those gangsters don't even settle or reside. But it's like, for one, it was some like 40 some odd year old chick who weighed maybe like 90 pounds soaking wet. You know, there's people supervising, there's cameras in there that are behind this glass. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I knew I was gonna be okay. Wow, so you treat women differently than you do men? No, I treat situations differently than I do others. I mean, even then, if the situation, like, they started to actually become more, like, erratic, like, hitting their environment and stuff like that, that's a sign right there that they're getting ready to hit something, or they're unable to control their mind, their brain, in terms of responding physically. So yeah, of course, at that point, it's like, cool, let's change the topic of conversation, let's move on. Or let's just leave the conversation, leave the room. And, you know, it is what it is. But this individual, this chick wasn't hitting nothing. Yeah, she started to raise her tone. Yeah, she started to kind of take what I'm saying differently than what I was actually saying it as or for. But she wasn't like becoming physically erratic. So it's like, okay, you're still up for conversation. We're still talking about this and you're still asking questions. So yeah, those questions may be uncomfortable, but you're still asking them and you're not going straight to, you know, slamming your fist on the table, being like, what'd you say about me? You know? So, you know, it's like just reading the room. You gotta read the room, read the other person. And when I studied interpersonal communications, when I was trying to become a interrogator, or let alone working for forensics, you learn these things to look out for in individuals, and you learn the signs, especially through case study. You learn, like, okay, this is what happened before this happened, and you see other cases that link to that, so now you can assume, okay, this is what's going to happen before this happens. And so now you're more aware of it. It's kind of like playing Realm of the Mad God. Like, see right there, if I saw those things coming out and I wasn't aware that it's going to do that, and I'm stepping right there, I'm more likely to get shotgunned by those things. But because of my awareness, I'm now within the center here. Catch my drift? So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, if you just stay true to yourself, there's no need to freaking die for a conversation, right? There's no need to die for that. So, just reading the room, should this conversation continue, should it not, is really important, and I think that's what got me through the institution a lot. And that wasn't my first time in one either, because there's another time where I was like, okay, maybe let me try medications one more time. But again, you know, that's like a 4 to 6 month long process just to get seen. And it's funny because they'll give you medications right on the spot. I remember I was talking to the psychologist the first time that I actually went through that route, and I said like 2 sentences. Ooh, thank you very much. That'll go towards my collection. Oh yeah, all right. Get that dopamine. All right, let's go. Orcs and Sanctuary. Dama again. I'm hoping I get the sigil, the wizard spell. But I said like 2 sentences to the psychologist, and he was like, "You have bipolar disorder." And I was like, look, I'm not trying to be combative here, but I literally only just said 2 sentences to you, and for you to make such a broad assessment of such a thing would mean you're the best psychologist that's ever graced this planet Earth. No, you have BPD, I know it. I'm gonna give you this medication here. And that was the medication that made me lethargic and put me on my ass for like 4 days. And I remember I filled out a grievance, medical grievance on that individual as well. Was very thorough with it, because I was like, look, you know, I'm trying this whole medication thing out, but it's just not working. This individual wasn't listening to me whatsoever, and he was like headset, oh, you have BPD. I don't mean to try to play doctor here or be the expert here, but you know, I think that you have a rather phallus assessment. I think you're jumping to conclusions here. I said 2 sentences that had nothing to do with my emotions or any experiences that I've had and how I've addressed them whatsoever. I was just introducing myself. So, you know, it's like, I don't know, I've just had practically nothing but negative experiences with the medical industry, and with each negative experience, I tend to look into it. I tend to want to know, okay, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why did someone come to this conclusion? Why wasn't this happening? X, Y, and Z. So, you know, that's why I say, like, dude, if you're like freaking 80 years old, I mean, yeah, you can go see a doctor, but at that point, it's like, get some vitamins. Try to be as physically apt as you can. You know, drink water. Don't be drinking sodas, high fructose corn syrup. And I think you'll live to see like 100. It's usually the case for the most part. We'll conjure your demise. Oh, just goes invulnerable immediately. Okay, miasma. Gotta focus here. Holy shit. All those deaths. God damn. Yeah, that's awful. Alright, disintegrate. Final phase. I don't know why my controller does that. My mouse does that. Come on, controller. One sec, gotta focus here real quick. Nice. Alright, still watching out, you can still die. Alright, let's just dip. Ooh, someone got the robe, nice. Oh, there's 22 of us in here. Come on, Appendix Kid, we got this. Oh boy, alright, let's do this. Always such a scary fight. There's nowhere to hide. You will die. I forgot what I was talking about. Don't laser, what is that? Oh. Someone has the shiny, amulet, the one that like causes even more damage. Oh, right here. Oh, watch out, don't hit him. Alright, he's doing the charge. Oh, oh, that's so scary. I was gonna do a charge thing. Watch out, Appendix Kid! You watch out! Oh God! Yeah, these portals are so scary. Accept your fate. Pretty pretty good damage phase right there. Alright, take that out. Trying to contribute something positive here at least. Oh man, this phase. Yuck. Yuck-a-doodle-doo. Nice. Alright, aim. Ooh. Nice. It's always a good feeling when a lot of roamers know what they're doing. Oh, circles again. Alright, Exalted. It's gonna do that last thing right there. Oof. Stand back a little bit. Being cautious of the portals. Whoa, he launched those out. Ooh, I don't know. Nope. Not my time. The one I saw that? No. Yeah, that's a coagulation of no success. So, yeah, I feel like this is a pretty beneficial part here. I'm gonna go to the vault really quick. Take a little swig of my gamer juice. And I'm gonna try to enchant this really quick. Hopefully I get XP bonus. Because that's, okay, this is good, but I want at least, you know what, I'll just, to not be greedy, 2 and up. Usually I'd want to go for 3. And I mean, I still have like this much to expend, so. Okay, hey, you know what? Fair. That's fair, because then it would go 9, 10, 11. So it can go up to 11% XP bonus. Just like this one here. But I don't know if I'm going to get a 3 within 485. So just to keep it real, I'll stick to that, and then I'll try to get this one XP bonus as well. I don't know if I'm going to get it though, because as you can see, all right, I'll keep it. Screw it, I'll keep it. Whatever. That works. Alrighty, well, with that all being said and done, thank you all so much for supporting the series up to this point. I really do appreciate it. If it's been a while, go drink some water. If you smoke cigarettes, quit smoking cigarettes. You know, if it's been a few weeks, you may want to brush your teeth. If it's been a few months, you may want to take a shower. And if it's been a few years, you may want to eat some food. Getting some fresh outside plant oxygen air is spectacular for your lungs. If you're a fish, then going to a fresher part of the ocean, lake, pond, whatever it is you swim in is great for your gills. Circulating the air in whatever it is you call home, your castle, mountain dwelling, your temple, mansion, whatever it is. Because think of air like water is to fishes. If fish are swimming in dirty water, they're going to get sick. So, you know, just think of air like that as an invisible thing of water surrounding us. Getting some sunlight, moonlight in moderation is great for you. And I'm going to go ahead and get these things here because I totally forgot. Okay, so 2 mighty quest chests then. Alright. See what I can get from this. From these. Okay, yeah, I was about to be like, I'll actually give this to a roamer, as well as these two. This. No. I'll keep that. I'll actually put this in here somewhere. No? Okay. No, I'll move it here soon. But yeah, alrighty everyone. I'll see you in the next part, during the next part, at the time of which is the next part, once we get to the next part, in the event of which I'm recording the next part. So until the next part, I'll see you then and there at the next part. Alrighty. Bye bye for now, and until next time, I'll see you then and there at the next part. Bye bye for now.